time for another rant. Hope you're ready. I didn't record yesterday. I wasn't feeling very good. I didn't have enough sleep from the night before, so I decided to not record. So now I'm going to record now. Hope you don't mind. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter if you do or not, because if you do mind, then you don't have to watch it. Or whatever. Anyway, so there's been a few things that have happened that I'm going to talk about a little bit. So I think one of the biggest things, okay, is that Peter Thiel, one of the co-founders of Palantir, has decided to skip the country. Yeah. No, guess where he's going? Yeah, Argentina. Sound familiar? You know, where all your Nazis, your SS skipped to after World War II? Yes, Peter Thiel has gone to Argentina because he's kind of concerned about where the United States is heading. Well, maybe you shouldn't have done what you did. Donating to right-wing causes and whatnot like that, because they're the ones that are trying to turn this country fascist, and so far they're doing a bang-up job. Yeah, so Peter Thiel has skipped the country, and of course, Peter Thiel is also mentioned in the Epstein files. So it appears that he and Epstein had a friendship for a few years, and during this friendship, they messaged and emailed each other over 2,000 times. Of course, he says it was just to talk about investments. Sure, here's the thing. If you hang out in the barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut. So anyway, then there's... Oh, I got that from an old friend. Thank you, Tim. Then, of course, who else has been mentioned? Of course, former Prince Andrew, Elon Musk, Richard Branson of Virgin Airlines, and Howard Lutnick and Steve Bannon. Great company there. And of course, they all deny any wrongdoing. But like I just said, if you hang out at the barbershop long enough, eventually you're going to get a haircut. And, we know, of course, Donald Trump, it should be called the Trump-Epstein files, because apparently he's mentioned in the files like thousands of times. I've heard different numbers, so I can't really say for sure. And, of course, the newest is that lawsuit that the Trump administration filed against Trump's own IRS for $10 billion. Of course, he dropped that lawsuit. Yeah, and then they settled. The DOJ settled with the IRS for $1,776 million. So almost $2 billion. That was the settlement for your kick the crap out of cops fund, from January 6, 2021, when they tried to overturn a free and fair election and saying that it was rigged and stolen and this and that and the other and yada, yada, yada. So anyway, in regards to that, apparently the judge in that case ordered it to be reopened. Yeah, reopened. Why? because of a possible fraud committed against the courts, which really shouldn't surprise any of us because, I mean, come on, this is Donald Trump, the fraudster in chief, the treat women like shit in chief, the grifter in chief. You get the picture. And then, of course, a while back, he had slapped his name on the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. Yeah, he slapped his name on that. The Trump, okay, putting his name first. The Trump Kennedy Center. Well, then a judge, what was his name? Oh, Christopher Cooper. Federal Judge Christopher Cooper ordered that Trump's name be taken off of the Kennedy Center. A couple of reasons. I mean, biggest one being that he didn't go through Congress. Okay, anything that a president wants to do that's a big change, most generally, if I understand this right, they have to go through Congress, and Congress has to approve it. And of course, Trump was going to close the Kennedy Center for some major renovations. So basically, what he wanted to do was slap a bunch of marble here and there and gold everywhere. And so, yeah, Judge Cooper, federal Judge Cooper, said, you can't do that. Okay, you can't close the Kennedy Center. It's not yours to close, basically. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the people. I mean, it's like with his tearing down of the east wing of the White House for this stupid ballroom that's not going to do anybody any good. I mean, not any regular average person in this country is that going to help. And so when Trump's out of office, and hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later, I want to see that fucking thing bulldozed. And I want to see the East Wing rebuilt. That's what I want to see. Okay, because repurposing it is just keeping that thing right there in everybody's face. Okay, as a huge reminder of the piece of shit that was elected. Okay, I can't say we, all right, because I didn't vote for him. I would never vote for him, ever, ever. And did I say ever? No, I would never vote for him. Not then, not now, not ever. So yeah, I mean, seriously. And again, and I'll keep saying it and saying it and saying it. 77 million people voted for this guy. 77 million. What is wrong with these people? I'll tell you what's wrong with them. They spend all their time with their faces in Fox News, and they believe every single last word that Fox News says. Okay? Fox News is nothing more than Trump media or right-wing Republican media. And of course, here's another thing. We've got the midterms coming up, and, Republicans have absolutely nothing, zero to run on. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. You're going to see a lot of Republican ads on TV and the internet and wherever, trying to demonize people, mostly Democrats, okay, and calling us socialists. And, well, that should tell you all you need to know. When they can't run an ad with a plan of what they want to do when they get to Washington, D.C., or if they, to be reelected to stay in D.C., if they can't give you a plan, an idea, then they don't have any. They don't have any. And they don't care to have any. Because they're there to make themselves rich. They're there to cut taxes for the richest of the rich in this country. They're there to deregulate. They don't care about Americans. Okay? They claim to love America, but they clearly hate Americans. And that's obvious. I mean, come on. This Congress, how many bills have they passed? I can only think of one, and that's the big, beautiful betrayal. The one that's, you know, kicking people off of their Medicaid, kicking people off of their, ACA insurance, medical insurance, the gutting, the slashing of SNAP benefits. And this is really going to hurt Republican states, because Republican states are some of the biggest recipients of those benefits. So, yeah, well, you know what? I said this before the election, and I had a feeling that Trump was going to win. And I told people, you're going to get what you want, but you're not going to want what you get. And so far, those of us that didn't vote for that guy, we're proving we're right. We were right. We were correct. Not to toot our own horns, but beep beep. And I keep using quotes from movies and TV shows. So anyway, not to mention they're trying to pass this voter bill, and that is just a voter repression bill to nullify black and brown people and women, to make our voices, and I could say "our" because I am a woman, to silence us. Because by and large, we vote for Democrats. Why? Because, as a rule, Democrats want to try and help people out. Okay? That's just what Democrats do. Because they're running to be public servants. Okay? Not for the public to serve them. But anyway, therein lies another rant. If you appreciated it anyway, if you like what I said, if you find anything that I say interesting or helpful, please do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment if you want, and I'm going to end this video now. And to anyone who may be listening, my internet friends, please take care of yourselves wherever you are.